Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So this video is going to be me sharing with you guys what job I accepted as a new grad nurse. So I'm just gonna go ahead and share with you guys that I'm going to be a NICU nurse. So this video for me has been a long time come because I have been in this process of applying, interviewing, and getting rejected for 6 months as of June something. But I'm just gonna share with you guys my experience with this specific job offer and what I went through, like with the interview process and different things I did to prepare myself. For those of you that might not know, the NICU stands for the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, and that is where critically ill infants go, and we care for those babies and we support their families, we educate families, we just be there for them, try to involve them and care as much as possible. So with that being said, I'm going to be working in a level 3 NICU, and I'm really excited because that's kind of what I've wanted since I kind of got a more understanding of the different levels with research and working in a level 4 NICU as a tech. Because if you guys don't know, I did work in a level 4 NICU as a patient care tech, which I feel like was an amazing experience. I did decide to leave before my last semester of nursing school so I can be successful and pass, because I heard it was going to be the hardest semester of the program, but that wasn't true for me. It was not as hard as they made it out to seem. It was a lot of like busy work, but on like the is it hard or easy scale, it wasn't so much hard for me personally. But early in my like searching for hospitals process, because I had an idea of where I wanted to work, but I couldn't be like, okay, I'm only applying to them, I'm only gonna apply to that hospital, you know, I'm not gonna apply anywhere else, because that's where I was kind of at. But then I needed to switch up my ways. So I called around hospitals in my state and I was asking like if they hire new grads in their NICU, because I only applied for NICU jobs and special care nursery and intermediate nursery, which is a level 2. And then I also asked when I should apply, and the hospital that I'm going to be working at now, which I start July 22nd, they said yes, and you should apply after graduation. So I applied to this hospital system because they have a few different hospitals around like the state that I live in, different cities in the same city, you know. So I applied throughout my last semester, so from January to May, even though I graduated in April, but I just applied for those months. So I applied before I graduated and after. And so I did end up hearing from a recruiter the end of January, and I'm gonna read that email to you guys. So I have my iPad with my emails up. And so it says, new grad interview opportunities. So she says, good morning, I'm reaching out as I noticed you applied for RN position at one of our hospital sites. I would like to schedule an interview / shadow / tour with our team, pending the specialty you're interested in. So she wanted me to text the following information: my name, the hospital I'm interested in, the unit or specialty that I'm interested in, and my graduation date. So I did so, and I was also like, I applied to a nurse tech position in the NICU at a different hospital that's like kind of closer, and the one that I was only gonna apply to, but I ended up not, because just to be on the safe side, I wanted to weigh all of my options, and you know, just in case, you never know what's gonna happen. So I had an interview with the nurse tech one of the Fridays of February. I think it was like the first Friday of February maybe, or the second. And the recruiter wanted to set up an email for the same Friday that I had the other interview. So I ended up like not going through with it because I had that nurse tech interview for the NICU, because I couldn't do 2 interviews in one day, because both of them would have been in person. And I know, why did I go with the nurse tech instead of the nursing interview? Because I realized like my semester wasn't that challenging for me, like I was able to manage like at least one day of working a week, and I wanted to get that experience and get back into working and just have my foot in the door. But that wasn't the case. So I had that interview for the nurse tech, and I gave it a shot, because even though I was about to graduate, I got to the interview and the hiring manager asked me when I graduate, and I told her April 26th, and she was really bummed out because obviously that's not enough time for someone to start working. But I was like kind of like thinking about, okay, what about when I take my NCLEX? Like that might be a month after I graduate. Like, could I still possibly get my foot in the door so I can hopefully become a nurse at this facility? But she did compliment my professionalism, and she was impressed with my work ethic and history. And she basically said if I applied sooner, I would have got the job. We didn't get to all of the questions because obviously the when do you graduate question was one of the first ones she asked, and she told me that whatever hospital gets me, like as a nurse, they're lucky. So I was really just so encouraged by that. Whatever hospital gets me, they're lucky, because I have the NICU experience, I have the passion, I have the like dedication, and I'm determined to work in the NICU. Like I was not gonna apply or accept a job elsewhere. So I know what I want, I know what I'm meant for. I feel called to the NICU, and I can't imagine myself working anywhere else, even though I haven't started the job, but I got to experience like what nurses do in that level 4 that I worked at. And I fell in love with the NICU and just wanting to care for those babies and just be with them throughout their time, and just watching them grow and meet those milestones is something I am so excited to witness, and just really supporting and educating their family as well. So after that nurse tech interview, I continued with my application and interview process. So I want to fast forward because there's a lot in between, like different things. Like I was after, like let's say after I got declined one hospital, I would look and apply to another, or look and just search to see what's there that I can apply to. So mid to end May, I applied to the hospital system that I will be working at now. And I emailed another recruiter asking her like, when should I expect to hear? Or I said like, I haven't heard anything, what can I expect with this process, kind of thing. And she said it takes about a week to hear back from them if like they want to reach out. So later on, like probably a few days after, I emailed the first recruiter that I was in contact with, and I'm gonna read what I emailed her. So I said, good morning, we had chatted before about an RN position in the NICU at blah 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 hospital, and I was going to have an interview, but something came up. I've been applying to RN NICU job postings, but have not heard back from anyone. I was hoping you could assist me with getting an interview set up. I have already completed and passed my NCLEX RN examination, and I'm very eager to start my career as a NICU nurse. Thank you. So I don't know if I sounded desperate, but I kind of was, because I had this whole picture of, okay, I'm going to graduate, I'm going to take my NCLEX. I wanted to take it May 20th, but I didn't. I think I took it like May 28th, yeah. And then I wanted to start working as soon as I can get a job. So then the same day, after I sent that email, roughly like 45 minutes later, I got a NICU interview email from someone. So I'm going to read that. So it says, hi Tara, I am the NICU manager at blah 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 hospital. I received your application for a night shift RN position and would love a chance to interview with you. Please let me know if you're available to come in to interview on either Monday 6/17 anytime between 1 and 3 p.m. or Wednesday 6/19 anytime between 11:30 and 3 p.m. So I was like so excited, and I got back to her like really quick. So I did have an interview scheduled for that Monday, and I didn't want to do 2 interviews in a day because this one is going to be in person and the other one that I had scheduled was virtual, because I already did 2 interviews in a day before, and it's not horrible, but it's not my thing. Like, I'd rather just do 1 a day, keep it to that. So I decided to schedule an interview for Wednesday 6/19 at 11:30 a.m. because I didn't want to do it too late in the day. I just wanted to kind of do it at 11:30 just to give me time to drive there and to be prepared. Like, I like to get stuff done early in the day as soon as possible. So with that interview, I just really took it so serious. Not like I haven't with all my other interviews, but I decided to fast from social media just to get away from all of that craziness and kind of just flipping through my phone instead of doing something else. So, and I did make a NICU interview playlist that I think really helped me. I watched these videos multiple times. So I watched those, took notes. So I brought my portfolio, which has it had my resume that I provided to her and a letter of recommendation. And I don't know if I printed off my cover letter as well. I usually do, and it kind of looks like this. It's really nice. I got it for school, but obviously I'm using it when I have interviews, which hopefully my next one won't be for a while because I do not want to go through this again. But it has a little notepad where you can take notes, sticky notes here, little pockets, a flap where you can put something. That's where I put my resume at some point. A zipper mesh pocket thing, notebook where you can take notes again, and then a pen on the side. So I am a note taker. I like to write stuff down and be organized. So I had 3 pages, 2 or 3 pages of stuff. So I'm just gonna share with you guys what this is all about. This side has their values, and it has questions that I have. So I'm just gonna kind of share with you guys my interview and how that went. So my interview was scheduled for 11:30, and that was supposed to be an hour long, but it did run over because we did a tour, and we toured the NICU and L&D since we go to high-risk deliveries, which is something I'm looking forward to. Even though I never been to a delivery, I really tried to go to one during clinical just to see, where my level of, anxiety is at, kind of, because I don't know what to expect. I don't have kids, so obviously I'd never been in a delivery or seen one. So I guess we'll see when it happens. So yeah. And then what else? It was, I think, the best interview that I've had. She was so personable, down to earth, really conversational, and she was so sweet, so kind, so real, and honest about things that are going on, things that have happened, and just, what the future looks like for the unit. So she asked, who are you and why do you want to work in the NICU? And I can't remember. I should have wrote down because some interviewers, they would ask that separate or together. So tell me about yourself and why you decided to pursue nursing, or why you want to work in the NICU. So they can combine those questions or ask them individually. So that was kind of it. We started with her talking about the unit and about her background with NICU nursing. I was just so impressed with different things that she shared with me, and it's just, I can't wait for this experience. So I'm going to read off my answers just because. For my who are you, I say I am a recent graduate of an ASN program where I was a part of the Honor Society. I have a year of experience working in a level 4 NICU as a patient care tech, which drove my passion even further for the neonatal population. I got to experience firsthand how imperative family-centered care is, because we are not only just caring for the patient, but we are involving, educating, and supporting their family as well. I also have some experience working in customer service, which sharpened my problem solving, communication, and active listening skills, which I didn't say that part. I am looking forward to my career as a NICU nurse. So if you see, I tailored it to the NICU, and yes, I do have experience, so you can kind of say like what your experience has shown you or taught you. I think that's important. Like, even if you work in customer service, say those skills that you have gained working customer service. Because sometimes, like in another interview, I said that, and then, I kind of said that, and she was like, oh, I was just about to ask you, like, what skills did you, like, gain or whatever. So you always want to try to be as prepared as possible and answer to the best of your ability and honestly. And then my why NICU, I say I'm very passionate about working in the NICU because I find it incredibly rewarding to help care for neonates and support their families during challenging times. One of the many things that draws me to the NICU is the clinical complexity of providing care to this population. Also, I love being able to be a part and witness the progress of a patient's journey from admission to discharge and even beyond the NICU. When I worked as a tech in the NICU, we would constantly get updates on babies we once cared for, and that was heartening for me to know that some families keep in touch. And obviously, I didn't say all this word for word, but it was like the idea of it. And another thing, like, try to relate, if you have experience, whether it's in clinical, relate that experience to why you want to work in the NICU. Like, I think it's important to do that and to share stories. Like, if you have a NICU experience story that you want to share, make it a part of one of your answers and just keep it short and sweet. And then, why do you want to be a nurse? I want to be a nurse because I love learning new things, and I want to do something that is challenging, interesting, and makes a difference in people's lives daily. I also enjoy the collaborative nature of the healthcare team, and I believe that my strong communication and teamwork skills will allow me to contribute effectively to this interdisciplinary approach. Ultimately, I decided to pursue nursing to become a NICU nurse, and that is the truth. Like, once I realized the NICU was a thing, because I didn't know, I didn't have much like hospital exposure before college. I did research, and I found out nurses can work with babies, and these babies sometimes are really critically ill, and that sparked my interest once I was like reading blogs, watching videos about it. And once I really got that exposure, like the in-person exposure to it, I was just so like, yes, this is exactly what I want to be doing. And then she asked, what do you know about the hospital? So I said, growing up, I was a patient for my ventricular septal defect checkups, and I always recognized the staff's compassion for the work they do, and that inspired me to apply. My values also aligns with the ones that they stand for, which I put in parentheses what they are just in case if I forgot. And I want to be a part of a strong team that works together to provide quality and compassionate care. And then this is on this page, but okay, I'll just go here and then I'll come back. And then she asked, what is my biggest accomplishment? And I said, just being a part of the honor society and nursing school, because I had a strong support system with my family and friends, and they always just encouraged me to keep going and pushing through, because it wasn't easy at times. Like, there was struggles that I went through in school. So yeah. And then a time you had to use critical thinking. So just have stories in your mind, whether it's your work experience or your clinical experience. And I think if you have NICU experience as a nursing student, it would be really helpful to include that, because like, it shows that you had the opportunity to use your critical thinking and apply it to that specific patient population. And if not, that's okay, because critical thinking is critical thinking no matter where it's at in the hospital. So and then a time you needed help. So I was explaining about how this one time at clinical I had 2 patients, and one patient didn't have as many medications as another one. And as the day went on, my one patient that didn't have as much meds, he was getting an abundant order of medications coming through, so my workload became heavy. So I used that time to delegate appropriate tasks to my colleagues, and that really helped my workload overall. So really just sharing the whole story, like you can say how it helped you, what you did, how you responded, how you were feeling. Just really share those things in interviews and in your answers, because it's really helpful on your behalf. And then at times someone needed help, so I shared that one of my fellow students during our last clinical, it was a half day, so we only had 6 hours to get everything for our care plan, and she was working on getting her information for her care plan, and one of her patients, visitors, came out and asked for water. So she didn't necessarily ask me for help, but I asked her if she wanted me to get it, and if they were NPO, was there any special diet restrictions or any of that. And so that really shared my teamwork skills and willingness to jump in and help during situations. So yeah. And then where do you see yourself in 5 years? So I said in 5 years I see myself still working at the hospital as a NICU nurse. By then I would have obtained my BSN and certifications related to the neonatal population, such as NRP, stable, the RNC, NIC, and much more, to help me advance my education to be more tailored to the unit. I also see myself being an educational leader for future newly graduated nurses, to lead, teach, and mentor them. And I also said I would be a part of the Neonatal Nurses Association to contribute however I can. And so she asked a time you had conflict with a colleague and how you handled it, or what you did about that. So I shared that. And then the last question, she said, I always ask this, so don't be kind of scared about it or anything. So why should we hire you? So this time I was prepared for this answer, because the last time I answered it, it was not a great answer. I had another interview. So I said, as a new nurse, I'm eager to join a team and contribute, and I feel like I would bring many strengths to the team. I'm open-minded, coachable, team-oriented, and I have a positive attitude. I also have a strong desire to learn and grow, and my drive to succeed will add value to the team in the long run. I happily accept constructive criticism and apply it where needed to improve my performance. So with that question, you want to share your strengths. If they ask you what's your strengths, you don't want to say the same ones. You should think of other ones that you have and share those. Say why you're a good fit for their team. Share personal stories if you want, but make it short and sweet, because you don't want to spend too much time on answering questions, because you only have an hour at most with these type of interviews. It depends. And then she also shared with me that there's 3 openings for the position, and that was potentially one of my questions, because I started to ask that more often, because I want to know what am I up against, and how many people are interviewing. Do I have a good chance, or am I just another applicant for the fun of it? So the questions that I asked was, what do you think is the biggest challenge for new grads on this unit? And I didn't write it down while she was talking, because I wanted to just be respectful and listen to her and hear her, because she had a lot of great things to say. And then, what qualities do you look for in a NICU nurse? But I think she said, can I answer what makes a good NICU nurse? And she did so. And then I asked her, is your unit a part of any quality improvement projects? And she liked all my questions. And for that one, I do remember they have a NRP debriefing. So after NRP happens, you debrief, talk about what went wrong, what you could have done better, what we did good. And that's something the hospital that I was a part of in the level 4, they did, I believe so. Obviously, I wasn't a part of any like codes as a tech, like I could have been, but I wasn't. And they did have that debriefing option, and I think that's good for everyone involved to just really share their concerns, their feelings, their view on the situation. And yeah, because I think it helps improve the performance. So, and then another thing is just like infection control, so they're trying to tackle that and really be more prominent about it. So that was my interview experience, and 2 days later, the 21st, I woke up to this text. Hello again, Tara. This is the recruiter. The hiring manager and I chatted last night, and she'd like to offer you her NICU position at the hospital. And so we chatted that day at 1 to discuss the details, and I was just like so excited. I'm just so grateful and thankful that I stayed persistent throughout this process. It wasn't easy for me. It was challenging, especially being a new grad. Being able to be a new grad NICU nurse for me means so much. Like, I am so excited and I'm looking forward to this. So yeah, we just chatted about like how it's full-time midnight. She told me about like the pay differential type of thing, start date, and then we scheduled the occupational health for like a drug screen, blood work, all of that. That'll take an hour, and then I should receive like a welcome email by the end of day Monday. And then she said like the hiring manager will email me with the scheduling information and all of that. So I do have my occupational health appointment on July 3rd, but I did get a call during this recording, like asking about my tuberculosis, like when I got it last, and was it like a 2-step? So I did get it like last year, August 8th. So I do have to go in tomorrow to get blood draw for that. So that's fine with me. So yeah, I'll be going tomorrow and the 3rd for that occupational health and get that all settled. I did like my background check thing, and I just been working on things that I can and getting prepared for this job. I'm looking forward to it so much, and I'm definitely going to bring you guys along and share with you guys my experience throughout this whole process and how it goes and what I learn, what I can share with you guys. And yeah, so stay tuned for future videos regarding NICU nursing. So I'll see you guys next time.